Good afternoon, everyone. And it's definitely a pleasure moderating this session. Volunteering, as we all know, it's a passion. It cannot be anything else. And as a part of CSR box, I have been leading EVP, which is Employee Volunteering Program. And we have seen there is so much of transformation in organizations as far as the strategies are concerned, the CSR strategies. And definitely employee volunteering playing a major role in that shift. So today, the conversation, we say conversation as we talked about it, we are going to talk. It's not going to be a very serious discussion because as I said earlier, volunteering is a passion. It cannot be anything else. Unless and until there is passion, volunteering ho nahi sakta. So with that, we begin the conversation, the talk. So definitely there is no chai pe charcha, but definitely after this we can have a tea. So I'm going to start the conversation with a common question for all our panelists, starting with Shankara definitely. So as the companies are evolving their CSR strategies, what role does employee volunteering play in shaping a deeper connection between the business or organization vision and the social impact?
Thank you. Now, actually, if you say we cannot tell in a company CSR program, the name is changing. It is becoming like social purpose program. So my program, and people ask what I do, I am doing employee volunteering giving because it become an integral part of a organization. And for business, if you see, they have a challenge on retaining talent. And employee volunteering plays a very vital role in proving that a satisfied employee. We did a survey on the appraisal process. And if you see the overall average scoring of the volunteers is higher than the regular employee. So it was very clearly visible on how it is impacting a business positively. In terms of community, I can say thousands of examples. Recently, if you see, all of our cities are going through like a climate crisis, right? Flood is coming. It becoming now Amazon started to sell raft also. It becoming like 9,000 rupees raft. People are buying it because for safety. So now when the flood came in Chennai, I was so inspired to see that my volunteers were there in the forefront fighting for the people in their community. We were not we no need to prepare them. One of my volunteers, Shaktivel, actually when we went to ascertain their safety in the mid of a flooded area, he is already working with the makeshift boats and he is distributing for the aged people, he is distributing milk and necessary groceries. He is swimming and going and doing this. And another lady, Punita, for her entire community, she fought with the government, she brought a collector, ensured they bring a boat because that area really, nothing was went there. And she played a forefront aspect. I was so happy the government called her after the flood relief work and recognized them along with my CSR team members. So what is happening is a total change of connecting the dot, which usually by funding a company cannot achieve. If you connect your employees with the community and make them to solve problems, it brings a huge, huge change in the value, brand, and also to the overall the value system of volunteering itself. So that is what the impact is manifold. So what we are doing in First Source is integrating volunteering with our main scale projects. Say in COVID came, it threw lots of challenges for us, right? No volunteering was there. How to do? Because most of the volunteering was human touch. We were going and planting trees, going to home and teaching children. Now everything started digital, virtual. Gunjan is there from NASCOM Foundation. So what they brought is opportunities. The pandemic brought opportunities. What we understood is that time many of the government was not looking for resource funding. I got a call when I was in West Bengal. I got a call from a collector from a rural district in Tamil Nadu. He told me, I want people who can speak Hindi because I want to talk to the migrant workers there. So my volunteers from Mumbai, Mangalore called in 2 days. 2,500 people, they call and give a report how many people want to stay, how many people want to go home. Based on that, he arranged the train. So that 2 days effort, he came to a closing function. He talked a lot about how volunteers has impacted him, his administration. So the government is changing. So we first was when we had NASCOM came up and told we want manpower, and we are not able to manage in Bangalore because COVID cases are increasing in wave 2. We put up a 60-member helpline, and they were working full time in this project. They reached out to 17,000 people in the span of 3 weeks, and they saved very critical patients by connecting them with the control room. So many beautiful projects came in. We did Pratana, the livelihood. Madhavi was conducting a webinar for differently able during the lockdown, and she wanted a different volunteering. But most of the differently able connecting from different states have to understand that webinar. It was on many topics, on legal aspect, support for the differently able, mobility, new technologies. She brought experts there. All were speaking in English. Now our volunteers lively transcribed that. Kannada, Marathi. So many unique volunteering model came up, and it was very, very beautiful to for me. It was very beautiful. I also integrated hiring aspect, like for the helpline project. We hired LGBTQT because for LGBTQT they are asking experience. Where they will get it when they are not getting jobs? So we brought them in, gave them the opportunities to work on a social initiative, then put them in business. So everything is happening through volunteering.
Excellent. So definitely connection is the key word here. And moving forward to hearing more such unique initiatives which these leading organizations are having. So the next, if Ribu Chaudhary, if you could give us some insight about what is happening at MDS about employee volunteering.
Sure. Firstly, let me thank CSR Box and all of you today for being here. There are a couple of interesting things that we are doing, but let me begin with a small story. It generally is that all of us work in different spaces. We work in the tech organization. We all do campus hiring, right? Most of us do in our spaces. We do campus hiring. We go to various campuses, meet children who are doing engineering, want to join corporates. So we do about 60 to 80 campuses every year. And at least 3 students stand up and ask, what is the social initiative that the organization is part of or is willing to talk to us about? And after those questions come in, we have a standard slide which says, in CSR, these are the focus areas and this is what we cover. But what's interesting to see is the social awareness is beginning from there, right? So it's important that the organizations call that out. And it's also a fact, and I was reading in one of the Harvard Business Reviews which says, students want to join organizations where the causes are very similar. The cause that they want to look forward to, the organization is working for, then there's a lot more connect and they want to join that organization, right? So we begin from there. We talk about what our initiatives are, and once we onboard these students, who are our colleagues now, we run a very specific program. On day 1 of their onboarding, we do a 2-hour CSR immersion session for them. So we talk about what our philosophy is, what our base pillars are. We also do an activity along with them. So they feel really connected. One, it's also about networking. They're talking to students coming from different colleges. So it's really an immersion that happens as part of this onboarding, right? So there are various such initiatives that we run in the organization, but this is something that I wanted to highlight.
Yeah. And moving to Pratna, I suppose this is a very unique panel because if we have seen some leading organizations having their projects, we also have someone who is Pratna, who has actually implemented those projects. And if you can just give us some insight about the impact of the projects which Ribu talked about?
Okay, even before you go to Pratna,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, sure.
one last thing that I wanted to speak about, and is also the fact that while we onboard new joiners by doing these initiatives, we also onboard our leaders, because as part of this entire CSR and volunteering, we see a lot of employees volunteering, but what happens to the leaders? How many leaders turn up for these volunteering activities, right? So what we did as a mandate is all of us go for leadership forums that happen year on year. There is a discussion that happens on what our goals are for the next year. So all these leadership summits, we ensure that there is one CSR activity that happens along with the leadership team, right? So as part of that, we had one leadership offsite which happened as late as end of last month. And Pratna did an amazing, a really impactful event for us. I think half of my leaders were in tears in terms of what is the impact that it created on them. And that actually rolls back into their respective teams. They telling their people saying, you should do more volunteering activities. So once they hear from their leaders, then there's more buy-in as well, right? So Pratna, I'll let you speak a little more about that.
Thank you. It makes us feel so good, and I'm sure many organizations present here also will start connecting. Oh my God, I'm doing such a wonderful work, and that's the proud feeling each one of us should have. Um, just to connect to what Ribu said, many a times employee volunteering has such impact that we can't even imagine. The leadership workshop, she spoke about the employee engagement that we did. I'll just share the multifold effect or the impact it had. First, there were a couple of leaders who said, we want to do a lot more with our respective teams. Uh, the activity we did was very simple. How many of us can see this? What is it? What are the colors you can see? Is everyone awake? As in, we need louder answers. Yeah?
I know
Colors?
that, but I am very angry about this because my son quickly does. I am not able to do.
Now imagine, just close your eyes for 10 seconds. What are the colors that I'm showing? Black. Maybe for few seconds you will still remember, okay, Prarthana had showed white, blue. But after a while, now if I give this Rubik Cube to someone who is blind, the person would be like, ma'am, have I won the game? And I've heard this from many people saying like, what do I do with this Rubik Cube? Now the best part about this Rubik Cube is the students who got onboarded and did activity, they did this, and today if you see, there is a tactile that is done for every color. Now, if I give this Rubik Cube to someone who is blind, he would be like, oh my God, I have to get this plane at one side, circle at the other side, this triangle at one side, and they start playing. Now, this is just one part of the impact that is created. The best part begins now. This has gone to children with multiple disabilities in aspirational districts, where I met one little boy, and I still remember, I was just sharing this morning with Ribu. I was like, Naitik, do you want to walk? He just came, he held my hand for a few seconds. I was like, Naitik, walking pe jana hai? There was no response. Slowly I realized he has severe autism. But then he held my hand, he was walking around with me. I do a lot of energizers, activity. I was like, shake your right hand, left hand. And I could see Naitik suddenly running towards a wall while I was doing activities with other children. And this is in remotest part of our country, aspirational districts for people who might not be aware. These are the bottom 115 districts that are chosen by government to be most poor districts. So Naitik goes to one wall and he starts banging his head. And I immediately call my team and they said, don't worry, ma'am, he has kept his hand, so he won't get hurt. And I was like, but why is he doing that? And they said, ma'am, for 6 years, we just identified Naitik 3 months back. For 6 years, he was tied with rope in the corner of a house. We identified him. We got him here. For him, it is the freedom. And that's when he will just hold people's hands. Social interaction hasn't happened for 6 years. And now why I'm sharing this is, when we did those small little activities, there were few leaders from MIDS who said, can we support projects in aspirational districts? The impact of employee volunteering, leadership team taking ownership, saying, can we do projects not just in cities, but can we go in aspirational districts? Today, there is a vocational training center we started because of support of leaders who were part of couple of employee engagement. The vocational training center has been converted to production center. 30 youth with disabilities who were begging on streets, who were just at home doing nothing, are earning 8 to 10,000 every month. A change that has happened because corporate leaders bring in that change. So whether you're an NGO, whether you're a corporate, whether you are an individual, feel proud about the work that you're doing. Every minute will count and we can keep making a difference, and I'll stop.
Thank you. So we didn't do the other sign language that we talked about. So moving ahead, JB, we would like to know, and definitely the audience would like to know, what is happening at Ford and what unique initiatives you are doing.
Yeah, I think going after Prarthana is a huge challenge in that sense of it, but I'd really want to take a moment to actually thank all the partners, the NGO partners in particular, because all the numbers that we corporates try and highlight, show in terms of volunteering, it definitely would not be possible if it weren't for an equal commitment from the NGO partners as well. So hats off to the work that all of you are doing, and thank you so much for that. Definitely making life easier for us and life better for a lot of people, so thank you for that. Now coming to your question, Smita, so I've been with automobile companies for a good part of my career. So in automobile, when you're in manufacturing, safety is like the core principle that you operate on, as in whether it's safety of employees, safety of the users of the vehicle and all of it, safety is the buzzword. But gradually what I've seen is that as equal or as important as that, employee volunteering has sort of come in. So it's more about making volunteering as a culture. As in Ford, we've been trying to do that. It's becoming a part of the DNA, as in it is already a part of the DNA. We are making it a little more ingrained into everyone. And maybe I'll since both of them spoke more in terms of the impact that's been created on the ground with the beneficiaries, I'll try and give a different perspective. In terms of a topic that we are all probably discussing these days, which is on work-life balance, whether it's people supporting 70 hours of work or people wanting to work on weekends and all of it. What we've seen is that there's a lot of support that volunteering does in terms of your mental well-being and work-life balance. The balance in work life actually can be created through volunteering at some level. It's a stress buster for a lot of people. It's an opportunity for social inclusion for a lot of them, especially post-COVID. Large number of them working from home and all of it. So it's an opportunity when all of them come together for a cause. It's actually a good factor looking at the mental well-being of employees actually. And what we have also tried to do is, so you have HR obviously has a lot of policies and support programs and all of it. So we're trying to sort of integrate, as in CSR programs obviously get integrated into volunteering. But what we are trying to do is integrating our HR programs into volunteering at some level. So you probably know about walkathons and things like that that people typically do. So what we do is we do similar walkathons for our employees more from a physical wellness point, but we give it an angle of making them run for a while, going to a particular location, maybe planting a tree after that. So it becomes an environmental awareness initiative at the end of the day. Similarly, a lot of them go for beach cleanups and things like that. So we are converting that into plog runs. So at the end of the day, there is some involvement from their end from a physical well-being as well. So we've been trying to slightly do things in a different way from that space, obviously along with a lot of other things that Shankara, Ribu and all of them touched upon. But this is something that we've tried to bring out at Ford differently over the past few months.
Excellent. And I really feel that it's true. Even at CSR Box, we have been doing a lot of such activities. A simple like a paint a school wall, to the kind of the EVP clinic we had yesterday, mad ad. just connecting with employees, with people, and how such a simple activities can bring so much of happiness to them also and show the impact. We have seen after a school wall was painted, the volunteers went again to that school to see what was the reaction of the children there. And that really made them think कि अरे यार ये तो वापस होना चाहिए. So that was a great impact because we know those volunteers are going to definitely repeat that activity. So moving ahead, Neha, we would like to know what's happening at Amazon.
Thank you, Smita, and thank you everybody on the panel for sharing such great stories. At Amazon, as you know, we have a leadership principle called success and scale brings broad responsibility. So it's more about, it is embedded in our culture that every product that we make, be it, our customers or our employees, we are ensuring that there is a bit of a corporate responsibility that comes into it. So the day you spend at Amazon, you start thinking about, what is the social responsibility, what is the impact of your product, what are the impact of your actions, and that is how we're building that culture. But I think the most special thing which is closer to my heart, I would like to bring to notice for everybody is that we're essentially empowering everybody at Amazon to do something on their own. And the biggest testament of that fact is that we do have like a large employee volunteering program. We do about 230,000 employees globally, and out of which half of it comes from India. So I'm very proud of that. And with these 100,000 odd employees that we regularly engage in our volunteering programs, almost half of the opportunities are not organized by my team. So we've created this amazing group of passionate individuals who are placed in every team, and that is completely voluntary. Like, how they get involved with us is they started going out in an volunteering opportunity and coming back to us saying, wow, this is amazing. I've got like such sense of purpose and I want to help you. And then we're like, obviously we're at Amazon, we want to empower people. We're like, okay, here you go on your own. And that has turned into a beautiful movement. And another example, like we are all here talking about people. I have not come alone. I've got my champions with me who have taken like special approvals from their managers because they do have a part of day job, right? So we're just looking at how do I become like a conduit connecting Amazon's resources, amazing resources, to the needs of the individuals that are in the society and all of our amazing nonprofit partner network, and not be a blocker, as in empower people and make volunteering more pull-based. So while there are about 4 causes that we support broadly and that are common globally, any employee in Amazon can do whatever that they want to do, and we appreciate that. And the whole idea of bringing them here is like, okay, you can meet thousands of people here, and whatever you want to do, if you're passionate about it, I'll help you drive it, but they drive it. So it's ownership, accountability, all of our leadership principles come into play, and it's more of the impact that you can do because, most of us have smaller teams, right? Like how much can you do? So when you have a ready group of passionate individuals, that helps.
Great. So continuing with what you said, you emphasized more on the pull based than pushing employees towards volunteers because we have seen the more we try to push, there will be a resistance. It's a common scientific thing. So instead of that, you use pull, which is so true. So how do you integrate this approach in your employee, and have you faced any challenges? And if you could talk more about the global month, which we have heard, global month of volunteering activities.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Smita. So, like I said, Andy started with it, and every company worldwide, like every org that we have worldwide with Amazon, and every team participates in it. And the first step that we took about embedding that culture was to start with Global Month of Volunteering. Essentially, in those 30 days, every employee across countries is celebrating volunteering and getting involved with us in some or the other sense. So it's essentially like an exposure activity. You can come and understand more about volunteering. For other seasoned volunteers, it is about what more can you do? Can we go deeper and make our like more narrow and high impact opportunities? But everybody is celebrating it, and it is given as importance as a great Indian festival or like a Prime Day from all of our leaders. And thanks, Ribu, for mentioning. So we also lean on our leaders a lot, and nothing itself is a mandate, but when our leaders see it, they have come back to us and taken goals. So, giving you an example in terms of our India leadership team, which meets every month, uh, two of the leaders have taken a voluntary goal to sponsor volunteering. So they meet and they tell every month, this is my revenue, this is yellow, green, red, and this is how Amazon is doing in volunteering, and which is completely not come from top down. So it's very bottom up. And like I said, for Global Month of Volunteering, 50% of activities were organized by my team and rest was organized by everybody else. So we empower people, we let them do whatever they want as part of a few guiding principles and ensuring that it is needed by the organization. So another thing that we do is we try to keep business priorities separate, and we use data a lot to understand whether that impact is really happening or not, and ensure that employees also see it. So we bring that meaning in. So every opportunity you'll get to interact with the non-profit partners, you'll get to see who are you really helping. And unless the employees, see and feel that they're part of something big, they will not have that sense of ownership. And then you don't have to work on bringing them back. So you always retain them.
Excellent, so true. So moving forward, GB, you talked about very unique things, and we have also heard about the Pride Trails. So can you just give us more insight on the same? What is this Pride Trails?
Yeah, so basically what we have at Ford, we have a humanitarian pillar through which we've recently started supporting a project for the LGBTQ community, which focus on two aspects. One is a entrepreneurship part of it, and the other is a social inclusion project. So what we have tried to do through that particular project is make sure that employees are there in every part of the particular project. You have, in a lot of organizations, you find that you have ERGs, employee resource groups, and things like that. So even while designing the program, we had our ERGs come in. We had taken their feedback because they also have members from the community who are working in office. So we took their feedback. Obviously, with the NGO and the partners on the ground, we have separate discussions, but we made sure that they were involved right from the beginning. So that there is a sense of ownership, as Neha was mentioning. So making sure that ownership starts with the employees itself. So that's what we initiated the project. Through that, how we sort of devised, initially we were a blank slate. We were like, how do we volunteer in this particular project? What is it that we can do differently? There were, the regular ones were there, obviously, well and clear, but what is it that we could do differently? And obviously, the other factor that we wanted to particularly look at was in terms of bringing the millennials on board. I think Ribu was mentioning, I think you have a lot of freshers who are very much driven by a sense of purpose when they come to join an organization, probably much more than what we had when we were at that point of time. So obviously you need to cater to them also. You need to ensure that you are giving them that diversity, not just in terms of opportunities, but in terms of experience and all of it. So a couple of different volunteering projects that we did was one, we did a Shark Tank sort of an exercise. Because entrepreneurship, obviously, the beneficiaries, the transgender group went through training in terms of upskilling, creating business plans and things like that. But we had them pitch their proposal, their business idea with our finance teams, given that they have expertise in that particular space. So different panels were created, each one pitched their story, their idea of business and all of it. It was vetted, validated. Obviously, the grant was given basis the merit of the proposal, and that obviously goes in from the CSR part of it. But we created that sort of an exercise, which obviously, again, we had few leaders also, because the kind of experience that they bring in to the table is also huge, especially from a finance point of time. So we keep having those leaders come back. Actually, they're like, hey, what's happening to that business? As in, they feel like they have put some equity into that business at some level. Although there is no financial commitment from their end, they feel at some level, hey, this is something that I sort of advise them into doing. Are they doing well or not? That sort of a feeling comes in for all of them. Secondly, something different, again, we also had a global month of caring. What we did was we created a pride trail, that is the one you're referring to. What that essentially meant is it was a trail where employees went across the city. So there were 25 enterprises which are being set up. So they went across the city. Few of them are outside of Chennai and all of it, as in you have people from the north and all coming in. So they don't know the city. So for them, it was an experience to understand the city as well. So it was a trail. They traveled by bus, auto, walking, crossed railway bridges and things like that. So it actually was a trail where they all went to different enterprises. They were promoting the business. So a lot of millennials are very social media savvy and all of it. So they were promoting the business. Some of them were having tiffin centers. Some of them were doing boutiques. Some of them had their beauty parlors and things like that. So different businesses, they were promoting that through their social media feed, through their LinkedIn post and all of it. So it was just giving more visibility to the business, making sure that you still have that sort of a prejudice against the community which is there. So breaking that barrier at some level. And for the employees also to get to understand the community a little better. As in, we also, as in I was telling about the ERGs, we always tend to be looking inward in terms of what we do. But when you talk to the community outside, you get a fresh perspective on things. So they get motivated. One of them actually recited a 3-minute poem on the ground, as in he wrote something, he recited it for the community. So that's a sort of impact which was there on the volunteers. And we try to ensure that we communicate with the volunteers also regularly. I think that's also very critical. I think just from a point of ensuring that they know what's happening, has there been an increase in the sales, are they doing well, what are the challenges which is there, and we are also constantly, since it's a new project for us, we are also constantly taking feedback from the volunteers as well, trying to understand if something is not right, incorporating that into our project as well. So again, we have few more thoughts in terms of volunteering for that particular project in the pipeline. Hopefully it all comes together.
So definitely very inclusive initiative, and definitely it includes all the millennials as well, because that's not an easy project or initiative to do. It looks something, okay, fine, it's accepted, everybody is talking about it, but to do it through employee volunteering is not easy, and definitely great work that you have been doing on that. So moving further, Ribu, this is for you. As Neha brings up that at Amazon, it's more employee-driven employee volunteering that they do. It's on the employees to select what they want to do. So how does it at Amadeus, whether it is technology-based, technology-driven, so what unique thing that you do to achieve this employee or motivate them?
Okay, so at Amadeus, it's 50 and 50, if I may call it. 50-bit is more physical volunteering that happens, but a lot of work happens around technology. So when I say technology, it's virtual volunteering that happens. And we discovered this during the COVID phase. And we being in the space of travel technology, we realized very quickly that one, our employees needed to be together. There should be some bonding activity that needed to happen. Two, there were a lot of guides across the world who lost their jobs, right? Because there were no tourists that were going around. There was no travel that was happening. And the guide population really had absolutely no income. So what we tried doing, and something unique that we did, is we spoke to guides across different geographies, and we started doing online tourism, and our employees started paying the guides, right? So this was done virtually, guides across the globe. We partnered with them. We started giving them money for all the tours they would do. So they would have gone to so many different destinations, right? So they would select, they would give us options of which are the destinations that your employees would like to see, right? It was a virtual tour, and they had all these videos that they kind of captured from their various tours. They would cut and slice and dice that for us, and it would be shown to our employees. And since it was virtual, it was just not the employees who was benefiting, their family members, children at home. And then later when travel opened up, it was boom. Dad, I want to go to this place, or I want to go to that place. So it was crazy. But this is something that we tried and really worked out. So that's one. Two, also given the fact that we have a global platform, a virtual platform that's available, all our employees across the globe are able to participate in virtual activities that happen in every location. That's open to all. Like if we do, for example, a book reading here for people with disability, that's done in multiple languages, in French, in Spanish, by other colleagues there, right? So these are different activities that we run in the organization.
Excellent. Definitely, that's a good problem to have with a boom thing. Don't you agree, all of you? You never know. Okay, so the next one is for Pratna. Definitely, I'll be coming because I have a very, not say difficult, but a unique question for you. So, Pratna, you have played a crucial role with a gift plate success, especially in amplifying the impact of your different volunteering programs. So, could you share some key learnings that you had? Because here we are talking more from the organization's point of view. We want to know from your part. So, what are the different learnings?
Probably I would say it's an ongoing learning journey. In fact, the partnership that we had through employee volunteering, and I think now it's the time where we keep saying, you know, it is either pre-COVID or post-COVID. During COVID time, we had almost 3,000 volunteers sign up to volunteer from across different corporates at one end. At other end, there were a lot of people who were visually impaired who came back saying, ma'am, there's nobody to read books for us. There were a lot of acid attack victims who said, I'm not able to go out of my house. Who will support me? I want to start a small bakery from home. There were a lot of people. So if you see 70% of our population is in rural area. So there were a lot of people with disabilities who said, max I know is how to open a WhatsApp. Apart from that, I don't know. Now companies are asking me, can you attend this interview? How do I do? And these 3,000 volunteers then ended up volunteering for all the people with different, not just disabilities. I still remember we had done a couple of workshops for NGOs working on different issues, saying we want our beneficiaries also to, understand how we can make best use of technology. And I think 15 years back, one of the learning that I have is 15 years back when I learned sign language, I used to be super excited meeting any deaf. I used to just go and say, hey, hi, my name is Prarthana. Immediate response. I was like, what? Are you deaf? I was like, no. Is someone in your family deaf? I was like, no. Why? Because you're signing. For them, there had to be a reason why I'm signing. And why I'm sharing this is, today, impact of you all volunteering and taking that step to even learn sign language. Most of the organizations here have done a lot of sign language workshops, right? And today the change is, just a couple of months back, I saw one of the corporate volunteer write on their social media saying, morning I attend the workshop, I learned alphabets in sign language. Afternoon, I go to this place where there is a pottery artist who is deaf and doing nice pots and teaching to people. So she goes there and she says, hi, my name is Alekia. The response she got was, are you volunteer? A change that has started happening because each one of us is taking step to become more and more inclusive. So the learning is sustainable, inclusive, or probably even, many a times I love sharing this one story which goes back during my volunteering days. And for past 15 years, we have been doing, celebrating Diwali at this place called as Karunashra, which is a cancer hospice home. And the whole idea is not because there are patients who are close to death, but because there are caretakers who see death every other day. We decided, let's go and spend. In fact, immediately after I returned back to Bangalore, this is the 16th year. It started with 10 volunteers. Today, there are 200 volunteers who come there. I see 4 or 5 of them sitting right here who are part of this. Now, I still remember one of the activities that I did in one of the thing was, shake your right hand, left hand. And I saw there were 20 deaf volunteers. And they said, we can't scream. So I said, that's okay, don't scream, just shake. And there were people on wheelchair who were volunteering, and they said, don't worry, we will scream. And we said, do whatever. I saw one patient lying on the bed, trying to do whatever possible. He raises his hand and says, can I sing a song in local language? I said, please go ahead. There are people who would not even be able to hear, but I will sign and tell them what song you are singing. He started the song, and we realized he was singing with feeble voice. He had throat cancer. He completed the whole song. We all were clapping, so 150 people clapping. I'm holding a mic, someone is singing, and so many people clapping. Wow, what a feeling. 1 week later, I go there and I was like, hey, that boy who sang song, can I just go and meet him? The response was, ma'am, you can meet, but today might be his last day. I was like, that's okay, I'll just go and meet him. I am walking towards his ward, and I'm thinking, what do I say? How do I say? You know, should I say hi, hello? I reach his ward. I'm seeing him lying on the deathbed. And I'm like, okay, let me say hi. Even before my hand went up, there was a smile on his face. With the smile on his face, he did this, the 1 minute activity that we had done. They say, this is the biggest learning that I have during this phase. They say you cannot add days to their life, but you can always add life to their days. And this is the role each and every volunteer, whether it is individual volunteer or corporate volunteer, plays every day in and out, right? So wherever possible, please volunteer, because like all of you said, one Ribu, one Neha can't be everywhere. We need hundreds of Shankars, hundreds of GBs who are going everywhere and volunteering. So make sure you keep spreading awareness about it, and make sure many people keep joining you.
Brilliant. Well said. So coming to you, Shankara, everybody talked about different initiatives that their organization is having, how impactful that is. Now, the one question I think even the audience is waiting to hear, what are the challenges that you faced getting those employees to volunteer? And what initiatives, or how do you manage that part?
See, first challenge is perception. This won't work. They will not come. When I was given the first project in my previous organization, Cognizant, was to work on street children project. There are children who are, you can see in all the cities there. It's very popular in metro cities. It is a tagline, brand of metros, that we have poor people who stays in the makeshift houses. So I was told, in a very busy locality, I was told to start a project. I don't know how to do. And I am a nomad. Actually, I am not a social expert like Neha sitting here. So I actually came from business background. I was volunteering. They told, my company told, do full-time volunteer, do this job full-time. So when this particular project was given to me, I don't know where to sit and make the employees to volunteer, because there is no space. None of the big people, schools are giving, I was very shocked. There was a children's home, they are not giving the space to conduct classes for these children in the weekends. But anyhow, we started with putting a mat. And I don't know, if the volunteering is like a cat selection for MBA, thousands of people, lakhs of people will apply. Only 1,000 will come to that nomination stage. And orientation 100. And on-ground 40. Okay? But this 40 for me is 4,000 people. And it really proved. This 40 people, we started that project in 2011. I remember I started this project. And I don't know how the class were going. I went to a center. And when I was going to a center, it was fully crowded. I thought some accident happened. And when I went inside, one of my volunteer, Kalyani, I remember her, she is a senior leader in my organization. She was sitting in the road and teaching. I told you, don't feel hard because everyone are looking you. Because the first time it is happening there. And she told, their work is to look, my work is to teach. And today the impact is, one of the girls from the community is working with me in HR, in First Source. So you don't know the multiple impact on volunteering. It is about beneficiary, what I told you. Second challenge is about people. how a employee transition, right? How they transition. Pratana told so many stories. I remember one one NGO came to us, and I told him scientifically in this particular area there are lots of children with intellectual disabilities. We don't know how to manage. We want to do a survey. Our volunteers did 2,000 home survey, and they were shocked to know, not 6 years or 7 years. For 18 years, people were chained in a dark room because the parents don't know how to manage them. And after identifying 45 children, that NGO set up a school there in the same locality. Arvind Foundation is named, and our volunteers were invited to inaugurate that. And the volunteers now, many people are in different companies, still connected to that NGO. And whenever I go to their annual day, I feel very, very emotional because those children who are chained performing in this stage. And out of this 45 children, 21 children are now in a normal school because of their intervention. So you don't know the impact of how when you are connecting a volunteer, it is not a 1 day, 2 day saga. I just in the CSR box summit, I met yesterday one of my network. I'm very famous in LinkedIn. People know. He came to, he asked me, you know me? You remember me? I told, yeah. I should tell like that only to start a conversation. Then he told, no, in 2011, you made me to, we joined a volunteering program. And I was there in the, we actually connect some different programs, farming. I call it as urban farmers outreach to connect with, because everyone tells farmers is committing suicide. Why? What is the challenge? You go and work on the field for 2 days, touch the soil, then you will understand the impact. So that volunteer was transitioned by the program model, I can tell first. He told that I was inspired by his speech, that is secondary, because I was able to share stories of impact. And today, he is in CSR Box Summit, and he is in the social sector for last 10 years. His complete career transitioned after volunteering, and he is doing amazing work in that field. So many people who have that star put up there, the volunteering give that space to go and do that one. Third is NGO. Tuakam is there, KK. KK came to us around 2014, 13. Maybe you can stand, many people are searching who is he. So when he came to us, he is a young MSW graduate. He wanted to start an NGO, he wanted to do. He don't know how to do that one. Everyone are focusing that NGO can be run only with funding. When he met me, I told, start with volunteering as a focus. And we created a focus. First they were doing a pond restoration, and we connected with 10 to 15. And the first project of Miyawaki was in Thoothukudi district, which they told, my volunteers, 10 people traveled to that place. It is very far away from Chennai. They traveled and they did that. And today, they have planted more than 2 lakh trees. And most of the volunteers are there in their board. Secretary, they have given lots of names he has given to them. So the impact of connecting the dots of volunteering, like it's a huge impact. So don't go with your own set of targets. It is beautiful things. When you go and make a volunteering program in any of the space, it yields smaller. Final story I am telling, when we were doing volunteering, I am giving a speech. I always give speech. That is my only job. When after coming out of speech, I had one of the, everyone come follow for an autograph. Usually, now you all will come to me after this. So when I went there, one fellow came to me and told, sir, I am impacted by your program. I told, how? My name is Sibi. I come from this government school. That government school is having a very, very bad name. So we took that school. And we made our volunteers to engage every weekend. And your volunteer coming, IT volunteers coming there, inspired me to do something. They guided me, they mentored me. I don't know how many students you have changed, but that student, CB, he completed his schooling, he took a oath that he will join IT company. He joined the same Cognizant. He joined the Cognizant and he is there now as a software professional. He is volunteering for that school. It's a circle of one. And his brother, more impactful. He is a very good artist. And but in government school, no scope for volunteering, right? There is no scope for talent. So what he did is, this fellow got an opportunity when the company organized a talent hunt. And he won a first prize. Okay? Then over. After a couple of years, he came back to the same competition as a judge. Now he is a graphic designer, animator. He told that in that even he is telling, if in ninth standard, if I should have not got opportunity to come to this event and paint and understand my impact, talent, I will not be able to be a graphic designer today. So there are multiple, so I'm writing a book now, Vibrant Volunteer, Vibrant India. Please buy it in Amazon quickly. You can pre-book now, okay? So thank you so much for bringing this, for CSR Box, for bringing this topic. Time is over, 0-0.
But
Thank you,
Smita, I want to add to that because, and thanks Sankara for, helping us understand the impact on the communities. But I also want to, mention that there is a transformative impact on the employees as well. So I have heard so many stories about employees coming and telling us that, yeah, my life was transformed. A lot of business leaders tell us, Manish Tiwari said that across the last 12 years at Amazon, his day volunteering was his best day at Amazon. So we feel there's an absolute equivalent impact that it has on employees as well.
Definitely. So as we come to the end, definitely this discussion can never end. It is ongoing, but you got to know a lot of stories of the impact that had because of employee volunteering. It's not easy. There will be challenges. Challenges kaha nahi hai. Bina challenge ke nothing is interesting. But as we talked, what I feel as I was from my education background, if you really want to have good volunteers, it should start early in life. I don't know how many of you are aware of one subject which is compulsory, which is made by compulsory by the school board, which is SUPW.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, it was in our course, yes.
Yeah, it was in our course, but it was never taught. Because those periods were taken by science and maths teachers to complete their syllabus. So we got great leaders, but somewhere the volunteer or those part missed. And as they grew into successful individuals, that passion was missing. So somewhere I think we need to start young, as some countries has made volunteering compulsory, and they do out of their passion, not of compulsion. So I think thanks so much for such an interesting initiatives that you shared, interesting stories that you shared, and definitely the impact that was shared. So more to go, and together definitely we can make a lot of difference, waiting, working on the challenges and getting more volunteers, but start yourself first. जैसे घर से ही charity start होती है, so we need to be volunteer first, motivate and motivate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smita. And final one, actually, what I saw was in CSR box, lots of transition happening. This is the first time in this summit. I saw many people coming to me focusing on volunteering. That all we have a good volunteer because they understand that I will be supporting only that now. I don't have funds. But I'm also happy to see so many startups coming up. We have Goodera there. So we have, we do good. And lots of startups are coming. They are focusing on employee volunteering. I wish them all the very best and ensure that this volunteering ecosystem must be very culturally created. So Pratana should speak good about corporate leaders.
Oh my
Always.
God. Shankara, looking at you, looking at so many people around, I think we can sum up saying, in sign song, I see Janvi who is saying, please sign one, at least one thing. So you may say, I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will live as one. And Ribu, and this is last 10 seconds, I'll take. Ribu was sitting here and she said, you remember this painting when Shankara, you were talking about the brother. So in Amadeus, last year, what they did was they bought paintings that are made by people with disability. And can you see what is there in this? This is again impact of employee volunteering. So I had Mother. This is done by a youth with severe autism, Akhilesh. He's not vocal, And his mother always used to message us saying, I don't know what would happen to my son after me. And that was the year we got an order from him saying, we want 2,000 such paintings. And his mother sends us a message saying, hey, you know what? Akhilesh is breadwinner in the family today. A dialogue changed from what would happen to Akhilesh is breadwinner. And she sends one more message saying, Akhilesh brother works in Amadeus. He has come home with the hamper. He's actually gone on whole floor telling all his colleagues that this is by my brother. Dialogue changed from what would happen to me to a livelihood member to today, from being sad to proudly talking about my brother being a brother with disability and a change because of each one of us doing something good for the cause. Thank you so much.